Hey everyone, William John Raitt back with another episode of Design and Invest. We are at the Wallgrove property in Venice Beach. By far the best property I've designed to date. I've been working on this for the past 2 years, maybe even a little further than that. I had a nice big budget on this property, so I was able to do some really cool, tricked out things that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And you'll see the beauty that's within, so follow me.
It's best if we start off with a brief history of this property before we dive into all of the details. This started off as a 1950s style home, very old, never renovated. We were dealing with a 7,600 square foot lot, which isn't the biggest lot. We really wanted to pack in as much goodies as possible in this home. We're limited on the amount of square footage we could put in the property, which was 3,500 square foot house is what we ended up building. We had weekly meetings on this property for over a year on sourcing materials, on the design itself. Jay-Z, the foreman, was a pleasure to work with. He really, they really gave us a lot of freedom and a really healthy budget to select the finishes, and we were definitely not stifled. During the planning of the house, before we started any kind of construction, we Airbnb'd it, which over there in Venice, it's a great area to Airbnb. We got some good money for them while they were planning it and going through the whole approval process. It's not my development, so I can't get into the details of the construction cost, but what I can tell you is public info, and that is that they purchased it for $895,000. 2 years later, sold it for $3.3 million. Before we jump into the interior finishes, I'd like to explain and go over the exterior finishes. This property is definitely a very modern property. We didn't want to make it cold and just, lifeless like a lot of modern designs out there, but keep it in touch with the neighborhood as well. So we had to do some really cool, fun things. The stucco we chose was a white smooth stucco. And we did poured-in-place concrete throughout the property around the exterior, really playing with the the roughness and the smooth nature, all these different elements. All the windows are black aluminum, and we really played with the verticals and horizontal shapes, and some are fixed, some are casement windows. A lot of the designing of a home is done even before any finishes are picked out. I mean, it really comes down to the floor plans, the flow, the functionality, and this house has so many different details and so many different zones and levels to it that we really had to make it perfect. And plus, knowing that it's going to sell for $3.5 million, it's a big ask and a big price to pay. So we had to make sure we brought it. There's a fountain we put in the front to sort of drown out some of that LA noise. It's on a somewhat busy street. The landscape architect that we used was Ann Jones. We've used her in the past. She does a fantastic job. If you look at the renderings, you can see our vision was more of a drought-tolerant kind of landscape, but we changed gears. The real estate agents, Halton Pardee, they really know their stuff and own the West Side. If you need something sold on the West Side, they are definitely your people. They told us that a tropical landscape would be a lot better suited for this neighborhood, so we changed gears and went with a tropical sort of setting. We definitely incorporate a lot of drought-tolerant plants, and we use artificial grass. The front fencing was a custom-made item, and it's a sort of a basket-woven design. The hedges that are planted in place are going to go way past the front gate. I mean, it's going to look like a compound once this house is fully matured, and we made sure that the entrance gate was really nice and high, so that way that compound can be really achieved once the plants grow in and take over that space. On the garage, we chose to go a double height with the garage, so that way you could put a and also parapeted, so it keeps in with the modern design. We did an industrial garage door. It rolls up, which I love because it's first it goes in with that industrial design that's very fitting with this property, and two, it doesn't go inside and take up valuable space on the height. If somebody wanted to put a loft, let's say, inside, convert the garage to an ADU, or put a car lift inside if they're a car enthusiast. There's even space on the side. The side has space for parking, as well as an RV if you wanted to park an RV in there, a small RV. We did an epoxy finish for the flooring, so it adds more of a finished feel to the garage. Also doing a slider out the back to take advantage of the pool and entertainment. Let's say they wanted to make this a game room, or just easy access to the backyard and inside yard. On the interior of the house, we chose matte black finishes throughout, which gives a really nice pop of contrast to the stark white of the walls, ceilings. The house boasts floating walls, which refers to the lack of baseboards. It's basically an inverted baseboard. An L-shaped trim is put at the base, and the drywall sits on top of that, which creates that sort of inverted look. You know, it's a beautiful technique when used correctly. A lot of people don't do it right. It has to be very level, because if there's imperfections on the level of it, you're gonna see it. It's gonna look all bowed and sort of like undulating wave. The flooring itself, we used a wide plank white oak floors. We love using these floors. We've used them quite a few times, but with this particular application, the cuts have to be very, very precise, because there's no room for error. Baseboards usually cover up gaps in the flooring, and so in this scenario, they have to be cut precisely to the size that's there. We did caseless door jambs throughout, so you don't see any casings around the doors. Again, trim is used in combination with the pre-hung doors that have a groove in them, where the trim goes on that. The doors themselves are solid core 8-foot doors to really take advantage of the height of the property throughout. Jumping into the smart home system, it's super elaborate design. All the switches are Lutron. The switches on the front door control all the lights throughout the house. So there's a button right on the front. As you're leaving the house, you push away, it shuts off all the lights and everything, turns it off. When you come home, same thing. It's super tricked out. You can program it to where when you get close to the garage door will open, all the lights in the house will turn on, all these different zones and scenes can be programmed.
I could go on about the smart home features, but it's best to hear it from the person who did the installation, Matt Kunz.
Hey, I'm Matt with Lightwave. I made this house super smart. Come check it out. Welcome home. It's so easy. From right here, you first come in, the button says home. You push it, turns on all the lights in the main areas that you want, turns on whatever music. You also have controls for your alarm system right here, the intercom right here, see who's at the gate, buzz them in. Super simple. My goal in your house is to make it simpler to be there. You want to turn all the lights on? I got a scene for that, bright. You're cooking? Cooking scene. Check it out. Dims the lights over here, turns them on in the kitchen. Dining, one button, dims the lights, sets a nice mood. So easy. One button, that's it. Or, even simpler, you can tell her, Alexa, turn off the lights in the kitchen. Or you can just say, Alexa, set the living room thermostat to 72 degrees. The theater room. Come check this out, you're gonna love it. Movie time. So easy, watch. Blinds come down. The TV turns on. The lights turn off. That, just 2 words, movie time. Talking to Alexa here. So easy. I got speakers all over this place. I got them here. I got them here. Out here. In here. In the kitchen. In the living room. We got 4. Here in the bedroom. Out here. In the stairwell. I got speakers up here. I got a wired for a TV. How nice is it to hang out on the roof, right? Here in the backyard. One button. Wait for it. Listen to that. Beautiful audio everywhere you go. The cool thing is everything is at the control of your fingertips. Anything in the house. You want to control it's right here. Thermostats, got the app for that. Each of your thermostats right here. You want to see all the cameras? I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 high resolution cameras. You can see anywhere in the world, review footage anywhere in the world, see it live on the TV. I got control everywhere. You want to control your audio. Look at that, each of the rooms in this house. We got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 10 zones right here. You can control anything from here as well as on the wall, from Alexa. So easy. Alarm.com, we got your alarm set. We can open and close the garage door, control lights, control thermostats, the irrigation system, the sprinkler system, or if you just want to do it all with one button, right here. You're going to bed, hit the sleep scene. That's going to do all the stuff right here. Arm the alarm, close the garage door, close the gate, turn off the lights, set the thermostats to the right temperature, lock the doors, all with one button. Or you can just say, Alexa, tell alarm.com sleep. Okay, this is where everything gets wired back to, my network rack. I've got all the Cat 6 cabling going throughout the whole house, so if you're gonna get satellite, TV, internet, all that stuff, you don't want these guys coming running messy wires on the outside of your house, along the floorboards. You don't wanna see any of that magic. You want the magic hidden right here in the walls. I've got all your amplifiers for each of those zones we saw. Your access points are getting wired back to this switch here. Everything is hardwired back to here. And that's why it actually works.
We wanted to keep everything in the house square, down to the light fixtures. All of the recessed lights are square trim. The linear diffuser air ducts are all square. Even the speaker grills are square. The only circles you'll see in the house are in the lighting. So you'll see the big chandeliers and all of the sort of light fixtures soften all the harshness of the square design. In the grand room, you'll see the ceilings open up to 22 feet. The fireplace chase towers over the space with another reference to the rough and refined elements that we wanted to play with throughout the house. We chose a ledger stone with a slightly off gray with a bluish hue to it, which I thought was really beautiful because it's beachy looking. The floors have a bit of that in there as well. The giant 3 globes chandeliers that we selected are a David Trubridge sustainable bamboo, which we staggered in height and in size. They come collapsed in a very, very small box, so you have to assemble these. There was a long lead time. They're very expensive, but also very worth it because this is an absolute statement for that room. The gigantic fixed windows you see in the grand room really, bring in the light that's needed for that space and to really play with the vastness of it and the height, as well as we staggered some other windows around them in various sizes to play with that as well. The linear diffusers, we dropped a couple on the walls themselves, which you don't normally see and quite frankly I've never done before, but it really adds a unique element to it, and people who don't know what they are continuously ask, what's that? We did directional track lighting on the walls for artwork. And if you make your way over to the wet bar, it's super tricked out with floating walnut shelves built in, a built-in beverage fridge drawer, which is faced with the same walnut, and the even has the vents at the bottom cut out for it, so you can't even tell that it exists there. We did an awesome concrete tile picked out by the Verono team last minute. It came out beautifully. In the kitchen, we really wanted to bring it on all the finishes. A little limited in space in the kitchen. Probably drew up the design for this kitchen 100 times just to get it right. We really wanted it to be that statement that it needed to be for this house. We chose to do a whole wall of appliances. So we did 2 French door refrigerators. All the appliances are in Gen Air. Aside from the wine tower is a Sub-Zero. They simply do it best. That's why we chose that. Gen Air makes really modern digital displays and really, great appliances. We chose Pro handles for everything, so it matches perfectly. The range is 48-inch range with griddle on the side, as well as an oversized range hood with built-in heater. The sink as well as the dishwasher are in the island, and on the side you'll find a coffee maker as well as a microwave drawer. The foreman, Jay-Z, designed a really good recessed channel at the bottom of the cabinets, which disguises the under cabinet lights and allows for a really clean look. I'm definitely going to be continuing this design across all of my projects as it's really does look clean and it's very functional. When you do modern designs like this, you always have to play games with finding places for ducts, equipment. Rarely is it spelt out perfectly in the plans, and so in this case in the kitchen we chose to do a soffit around the entire kitchen. By doing that, it also allows us to hide lighting, mount the cabinets just underneath it, to build the sort of wall of appliances all the way up to it, and so you would never know that that's the reasons for doing that. For the counters, we chose a white quartz and we mitered the edges, so it's about 3.5-4 inches thick, and waterfalled them on the sides as well. We carried the same quartz up the backsplash as well to allow for that really clean look. The cabinets themselves are all made of walnut. It's kind of a homage to the mid-century modern design. Not that this house is a mid-century modern, but it is a modern, and we kind of wanted to play with those elements and the wood and the smooth of the stucco and walls and the sort of roughness of the fireplace, and really play with those elements. Now, before we head upstairs, I'd like to take you out back. The backyard is an entertainment paradise. The value brought to this property 100% is in this backyard. We chose to put pocket sliders that collapse into the walls to really create that indoor-outdoor space. We did a sunken-in fire pit topped with bench seating, and the seats themselves are topped with ipe wood, which will hold up very, very well. The sunken-in fire pit, it has a covered retractable canopy that's cantilevered over the pool bar that we built, that has an 82-inch television on the wall. The bar itself that we built has 3 taps, put a kombucha even in there, so it has a sink. We have it waterfalled on the side, built-in barbecue and fridge on the other side. The pool itself is really, really, really badass. It was designed in-house and sent out to Creative Design Construction. The owner there is Pete, so we collabed with him on sort of fine-tuning our designs and making it come to life, and he really did an amazing job. We did a swim-up bar, zero edge, which spills over into a river rock sort of sides. One really cool feature that you might not notice is Jay-Z, the foreman, snuck in a stripper pole. If you notice, all of the tubes and the pipes used and stuff for the overhang canopy are all square and black, and then you see this chrome stripper pole right on the edge of the sunken-in lounge area. It's kind of cheeky, and I think people will get a kick out of it. Nobody will probably even notice that it's there, but it's definitely there. Now, if you work your way over to the downstairs suite, and for a home like this, it is important to have a bedroom slash suite on the downstairs. I always like to call it the grandma suite, because it's where you would put grandma. There's no stairs, and it's easy access. It has an attached bath. The bathroom itself, we did a live edge for the counters. Jay-Z found an amazing piece of walnut that sort of fit perfectly in the corner and gives a real drama to the space. We topped it off with a vessel sink and exposed plumbing. In the shower itself, we did a 12 by 24 tile, very concrete looking, and a Euro splash panel. So it's not full glass. It's just enough to sort of block you the water from coming outside when you're taking the shower. And it's on a hinge as well, so you can open it up and adjust the temperature and valves and such. As you make your way upstairs, you'll see the beautiful staircase that we put, which is a floating stairs. The steel is inside of these, it's cantilevered into the walls, so these stairs literally are suspended in the wall. It's a really difficult thing to pull off, a lot of engineering, very beautiful. I wish that we didn't have to put glass and we didn't have to put anything so the drama can really be there, but we had to put glass and we had to put a channel on it, and it came out beautiful. At the top of the stairs, you'll see a beautiful macrame that my assistant designed to sort of drown out the noise of the electrical pole just outside, which, hey, it's LA, it's everywhere, you can't really avoid it, but might as well give something in the foreground more attention. The mezzanine at the top is a great sitting area to just read a book and hang out and conversate even with people. The grand room itself is just over the ledge there, so it's a really beautiful space. If you look at that all glass room, that's the movie room. We really wanted to do something different for the movie room. We didn't want it to be your normal sort of cave-like movie room like you would see in most of these homes out there. We wanted to make it look like it's the most opposite of a movie room as humanly possible. So we created almost a fish tank like feel to it. It's all glass, and as you go in there, you'll see 82-inch TV, full surround system, built-in subwoofers. I mean, we really brought it on in. And check this out. The upstairs hall bath has epoxied concrete floors, which really gives off this wet feel, and also an awesome geometric tile that was a last-minute selection by the Verona team. Is amazing compliment to that space. We used black Schluter trim, and all of the trim on the glass is all modern black, matte black as well, for the hinges and handles. We sunk back the vanity into a niche and put a window atop it because there was really no natural light in the space, and kind of hard because that whole wall was sheer wall and we couldn't really put a window anywhere. So it turned out really nice. All the bedrooms have walnut closets built in, very extensively designed so that they're as functional as humanly possible. Flush panels to the walls, full-length doors, really tricked out. The master suite is really something to die for. We have amazing his and her closets. One of them has an awesome library ladder, tons of storage in the top. They came out really beautifully, same walnut. To make your way into the bathroom, we have that same epoxy concrete floor with that wet look. On one side, we have a floating tub with a really dramatic tub filler off to the side from the floor. We chose marble on the countertops, also doing a thick mitered edge on those with black sinks and pendants dropping over them. Full-length mirror. On top of that, we have a window that brings in some natural light that runs the full length of that space. The shower itself is just a really big space. It's amazing. We have several different valves. One controls the body jets, the regular shower head, as well as the rain shower head. We have this awesome built-in bench nook that we're able to sort of recess into the wall. That's a great space for a woman to shave their legs, do whatever, as well as a little niche inside of there to put your shampoo bottles, a body sprayer there so you can spray yourself. And if you make your way into the toilet room, we chose a Toto toilet for this bathroom. I think it's a $2,500, $3,000 toilet. It's a G400. I have two at my house. I love them. I was a little worried about the master bedroom itself, as I wanted more windows, but we had to deal with a lot of shear wall in this house because we had multiple stories and roof decks and things like that. So unfortunately, I couldn't bring in more windows, but the space really reads nicely. It was staged amazingly, so it would never draw attention to the sort of lack of windows on the entry wall when you walk in. Again, beautiful black sliders and really cool vertical window that runs the span on the far wall. The deck itself looks over the pool, has that same seamless glass, and just turned out absolutely gorgeous. When you walk off of the mezzanine, you find this breezeway that leads you to this amazing space, another sitting area that's now outside, kind of a little courtyard that has a really industrial staircase that leads to the roof deck. Now, up on the roof deck, we had these beautiful benches built in and just beautiful views of Venice Beach, perhaps some of the best I've seen. The walls themselves are parapeted, so right at the sort of rail level, instead of doing glass, the parapet hides it and conceals you. Very private up there. We have speakers up there, a zone on its own. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the staging on this property. Typically, I do have a staging company, and typically I would stage a home like this for some of my best clients like Verono. But on this particular one, it's very much like I was in the state of my career with the Skyline property a few posts ago. At that time, I chose Meredith Bear to do the staging on that, partnered up with them, and my mentor, Brett Bear, at the time was the president of Meredith Bear, so he helped me out with that Skyline property. On this particular property, we chose Brett's new company, Vesta, to partner with and collab. They do amazing work. All the biggest homes you see in LA, the $30 million homes, $50 million homes, are staged by these guys. They really are the creme de la creme. And Brett is a very close friend of mine. So I called him up and asked him if he'd like to collab with me on this project and kind of put the icing on the cake. And he was happy to oblige. They did a great job. Actually, the person who bought the home ended up buying a lot of their furniture from them, because it was almost like it'd be a shame to put anything else in place in some of these areas. So this is really a lesson to partner with people that are bigger than you to accomplish. And really, this is a home that I could have staged. I was going to stage it. And, I did the design work from A to Z on this property, and I really wanted to put that icing on the cake myself, but I thought it'd be better suited to be done by somebody like Brett and his company, Vesta, which it was. You got to know where you're at in your stage of the company, and quite honestly, when it comes to $3-4 million properties and above, I don't really have that in my arsenal. It'd be a far stretch for me. But not for them. I do a lot of the smaller projects and live in that space. So it's really important to realize where you're at in your company and rely on people that are mentors and partner with them. I had the pleasure to meet the new buyer of the property, and she was amazing. I'm going to respect her privacy and not tell you who she is, but the property's going to a very good home. She's very appreciative of the finishes, and I think it's in really good hands. I have a bit of separation anxiety when you pour your heart and soul into a project like this and leave it all out there on the table. You really hope that the person that owns it is going to love it, and in this case, we got very lucky, and she does. I'm very proud of my team on this property, as well as everybody involved in this, down to the landscape architect, Jay-Z, and literally everybody who helped build this amazing property. This truly is a work of art, and some of my best work yet.